Honeywell manufactures many types of enhanced ground proximity warning systems shown here. These constantly monitor terrain and obstacles near an aircraft and warn pilots if either get too close. Our smart runway and smart landing systems form the latest generation of runway safety technology, protecting pilots by means of audio alerts and visual messaging during taxi, takeoff, and landing, the critical parts of any flight. Both systems are backwards compatible with our existing EGPWS hardware, details of which follow. The Mark 5A replaces the older Mark 5 and incorporates several improvements over the older model. It's faster, has more memory, and can load new terrain and obstacle databases via USB. It's also more reliable, with a longer mean time between failures. Yet it weighs 15% less. Finally, it runs higher resolution terrain databases than its predecessor. Designed for aircraft with digital avionics, the original Mark V provides pilots with aural and visual protection against adverse wind shear and controlled flight into terrain events. Exceeds the FAA's requirements for a Class A terrain awareness and warning system, and includes Honeywell's top-of-the-range international database of terrain features, obstacles, and airports. Production of the Mark V has ended, but Honeywell continues to support and service the system. More modest than the Mark V, our Mark VI EGPWS is designed for low-cost operations and optimized for use with turboprop aircraft. It includes a smaller database of terrain features, obstacles, and airports, optimized for the region in which the system is deployed, and is controlled via a programmable module. However, like the Mark V, it exceeds the FAA's requirements for a Class A terrain awareness and warning system. The Mark VII EGPWS is designed for fixed-wing aircraft with analog avionics, but otherwise incorporates many of the features of the Mark V and 5A, providing pilots with aural and visual protection against adverse wind shear and controlled flight into terrain events, exceeding the FAA requirements for a Class A terrain awareness and warning system, and including Honeywell's top-of-the-range international database of terrain features, obstacles, and airports. The Mark VII also includes support for military aircraft and tactical operations. Designed for business jets and transcontinental turboprops, the Mark VIII EGPWS contains many of our top-of-the-range features, controlled by means of a programmable module. It includes our international database of terrain features, obstacles, and airports, and can load software and database upgrades via PCM-CIA cards. Like the Mark V, 6, and 7, it exceeds the FAA requirements for a Class A TAWS. The Mark 21 EGPWS is a streamlined system designed for VFR helicopters with no radio altimeter. It nevertheless exceeds the FAA's standards for a helicopter terrain awareness and warning system, and contains a high-resolution regional terrain, obstacle, and airport database, and a built-in GPS card. The more fully featured Mark 22 EGPWS is designed for IFR helicopters with a radio altimeter. Unsurprisingly, it too exceeds the FAA's required specification for a helicopter terrain awareness and warning system. The Mark 22 can generate unique alerts for helicopters experiencing auto-rotation, banking at an excessive angle, and for imminent tail strikes. Like the Mark 21, the Mark 22 contains a high-resolution regional terrain, obstacle, and airport database, and a built-in GPS card. Designed for light turbine and piston aircraft, The KGP 560